Duckles, Monaghan, lives with Buckley of the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. My name is Chris Chichester. I live in Rochester, New York. I have been in jail 6 times. 6 times a prosecuting talk in court before $34,000 John P. Lomenzo Jr. in Penfield Court, $28,000 Paul C. Metz in Penfield Court, and $208,000 Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. What are the names of my prosecutors? Duckles, Mark Monaghan, and Elizabeth Buckley. And I know you will continue to refuse. I've used the Freedom of Information Law for 18 plus months. With Sandra Doyle, he has signed for it at the District Attorney's Office and looks right at the Freedom of Information Law and refuses to disclose the name of a taxpayer-financed public employee in a courtroom, of which I have at least 3. This is the Freedom of Information Law, dated this October 6th, 2023. It's attached in PDF that I'm going to read. I refer to my prosecutors of silence as freaks and sociopaths, because the prosecutor stands in court and cannot make an argument that the defendant committed a crime, yet that defendant is delivered to jail, is a freak and a sociopath. I have multiple freaks and sociopaths that are right here because this is the payroll for the District Attorney's Office I acquired using the Freedom of Information Law, which I was just holding in my hand. And the attempt for the law for this party-switching train wreck, District Attorney Sandra Doyle uses her help because she wants to be a pathetic sympathy case, is a disgrace. I have prosecutors assigned to every single one of my court appearances for fiction and lies concocted by these freaks at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, like $75,000 Richard J. Seaman, $82,000 Shannon Meyer, $82,000 Andrew Reale, and $85,000 Don Benedetto. I'm going to read the criminal complaint about this, how the $75,000 violent criminal Richard J. Seaman attacked the Penfield Public Library. And it won't matter to Todd Baxter that he's a violent freak, that he's a violent criminal, that he's a violent sociopath. It does not matter to Todd Baxter that Richard J. Seaman slammed his arm to the side of my head. I fell backwards, and then my head hit the ceramic tile of the library floor when Seaman fell on top of me because he stalked me into the library. Because one person, Paul C. Messer, wants to send me to jail when the District Attorney's Office is not present. It's that constitutional. I've talked about that repeatedly. The freak and sociopath is right here. If the freaking sociopath has been fired, or if the freaking sociopath left voluntarily. So, here it is right here. Freedom of Information Law dated this October 6, 2023. Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester in Penfield Court for John P. Lomenzo Jr. who was named the prosecutor Sandra Doyle. The freaking sociopath who sent me to Monroe County Jail without talking is right here. Freedom of Information Law dated October 6th. Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester in Penfield Court before Paul C. Metz was named the prosecutor Sandra Doyle. The freaking sociopath that sent me to Livingston County Jail without talking is right here. Freedom of Information Law. Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester in New York State Supreme Court for Alex Renzi, what is the name of the prosecutor Sandra Doyle. The freaking sociopath who sent me to Monroe County Jail before this $208,000 fossil has no idea what's going on. Alex Renzi is right here. And who is it? I know you refuse to answer. So, fourth foil on the state is only 4 that I've used repeatedly that refuse to. In Penfield Court, this nauseating, disgusting, sickening star chamber, you should know what that looks like with Buckley, Shirley, Director of all courts, I believe. There isn't a table for a prosecutor to sit at. There isn't a table for a defense attorney and public defender to sit at. There's certainly not a jury box for a jury of 12. There's a witness stand for witness testimony. This room is a joke, an abomination, a sick disgrace. And you debase yourselves going in there to groveling to these 2 hacks, $28,000 Paul C. Metz and $34,000 James Hewlett Jr. John P. Lomenzo Jr. released Daniel Laus III, an accused child rapist, and his Democrat Chronicle story where he calls these documents defective. And he has recused himself from the appearance of Daniel Laus III, even though he knows the family. I want to see them. This gets Lindsey Barron, the Monroe County Office of Mental Health, to my residents, and they're still refusing to comply. Send me those documents, Paul C. Messer and James C. Lane Jr., because you're copied on here. Defective documents. I want to see just how defective they are. Freedom of Information Law. They quote, then quote, defective documents for the case of Dan Glass III before John P. Lance Jr. in Town Court. It's only 4 today on this October 6th, but on April 29, 2023, those 4 that I just read, I hope to attach them in PDF. Those 3 were attached. So on April 29th, I demanded that from Sandra Dawn, and she refused. On April 29th, and this arrived at the Sheriff's Office also, a copy of the private health care records delivered to $28,000 Town Court Judge Paul C. Metzler by Sheriff Todd Bax for Monroe County violation of Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996. I believe that that's a federal crime committed by Todd Bax and Paul C. Metzler. Overtime, time and a half. He's refusing. This is April 29th. I've written this, I think, 20 times since then. Total cost of overtime, time and a half, how paid beyond base salaries calculated. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd Bax, we refused. Same thing with Sandra Dorley. You have murder trials, like with Kelvin Vickers. You don't just work the standard 40-hour work week. How are you paid at the district attorney's office the 45th hour? This is why your boss is corrupt. Sandra Dorley looked at this file on April 29th, registered mail return receipt, total cost of overtime, time and a half, how paid on base salaries calculated at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. It's strange, Sandra Dorley. What's the answer? When I contract Controller Thomas P. Napoli to recommend to him, because I can't demand anything of the controller, that District Attorney Sandra Dorley be audited and Todd Baxter, this is one of the things I'm going to cite. That she's refusing. I don't have to be a member of the media. I don't have to be with some special interest group. I can just be a private citizen, which is what I am. So, again, why he's corrupt. He has weapons, and he has a contract for weapons, Todd Baxter. Contract signed by Sheriff Todd Baxter to purchase firearms. Monroe County Sheriff Office employees to include 1, the name of the firearms contractor, 2, the number of firearms purchased, 3, total amount of taxpayer dollars to purchase firearms. This fool has arrived 20 plus times since, and he's refused every time. Back to the case, again, on April 23rd. I'm not going to read them again because I just did. Same thing. All those foils I just read, demanding disclosure names on prosecutors today, October 6th, April 29th, April 23rd, and the other ones about the weapons, overtime, time and a half, contracts. He refused every single time to comply because he's corrupt. Do you fail to understand that Todd Baxter is corrupt? Do you fail to understand that Sandra Dorley is corrupt? And the answer is you do. You don't know that you work in Jonestown. You're all Kool-Aid drinkers. Perry Duckles, Mark Monaghan, Elizabeth Buckley, you too, Michelle Crowley. I'm indicted when I don't know the grand jury's convened. How's that happen, Michelle Crowley? $73,000 cop freak Michael Glenn and $85,000 cop freak walked onto the private property of my 80-year-old neighbor. They come running at me in the middle of the night 2 years ago. I turn around and run away. I never stopped running. Since I never stopped running, I can't commit a crime. I certainly can't commit a violent crime. They're stalking me this night. That's on the body camera footage. I leave my residence to go to Wegmans. Anything they say is a lie, and you believe all the lies they say. Especially you, Michelle Crowley, because I'm going to be indicted for this fiction and fantasy and Adam Michael Luan. And this is the night Michael Luan becomes a perjurer who's already involved in the death of a human being that the Attorney General had to investigate. So he's under investigation by the Attorney General. And then this cop freak walks onto the private property of my neighbor, runs at me in the middle of the night, and this is how he becomes a perjurer. I leave my residence better than on who come running at me. I run by my bike. That I ride down 5 Mile Line in Penfield. I grab a hammer next to the bike. I place my foot on the first of 3 steps and run through a sliding glass door at midnight. Michael Lynn grabs my arm. The hammer goes up like this. I ran through the sliding glass door. I never stopped running. The only way for me to swing a hammer at lion, cop, freak, psychopath Michael Goulan is if I stopped and pivoted on my foot. Do you understand? With forward motion, you cannot commit a crime that is swinging a hammer at someone. This is on the body camera footage played for me by Public Defender, Assistant Public Defender Regina Harper. And this is irrelevant to you, Michelle Crowley. I would have told you all this if you would have interviewed me at the district attorney's office. More importantly, I would have sat right there in the grand jury box and you could have asked me question after question after question for however long you wanted. 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes. I would have sat in that box for as long as you wanted. Me too. Director of the grand jury, Michelle Crowley, you disgusting, sickening fucking freak. So, 70 names of my prosecutors will refuse because you're all fucking freaks. The reason why I'm using profanity is profanity gets from the county sheriff's office to my residence. I have used profanity my whole life, especially when I was in the Army. I was in the Army from the time I was 19 until I was 22. Second Squadron, 17 Cavalry, 101st Airborne Division. The profanity in the military, every soldier knows about, especially with the Vietnam veterans that I served with. And there's a lot of profanity when I worked for the governor, majority leader in the Capitol in Albany, and for Congressman Morris Smith, the Senator Lippy Snow, the House Rayburn Building, the Senator Russell Office Building. Political staffers swear not as much as in the military, but there's a lot of swearing. This is why they're freaks at the sheriff's office. So I'm telling you, I don't tell you anything from narcissism. I don't state anything that's disconnected from these disgusting, sickening, vile lunatics at the sheriff's office. So I leave my residence one day. I'll show you where I used to live. This is why people hate the police. You'll never know why people hate the police at the district attorney's office. This is where I used to live in Penfield. So I used to take my dog, my little guy I adopted from Lollipop Farm Domain Society, my Shih Tzu that was with for me 8 years, and I was able to adopt him in 2012. My then girlfriend Laura Robin, we lived in Webster, because when they did the background check on us, I passed. I will not pass any background check, being in jail 6 times without prosecutor in court. So I take my little guy out here. This is his business consumer insights with Todd Bags to put a camera on it for me and walk through his parking lot that I have shown repeatedly about this Benito Mussolini skinhead. I'm on a camera called surveillance device right here, 2025 Penfield Road, and they were lying about it because they know they can lie about it. When you use that phrase, the public defender 7 uses. I'm talking about freaks at the sheriff's office. I just take my little guy, I walk him right here, this land behind my residence. One day, I take my little guy, this woman, Nancy Dooley, works at this business here for Consumer Insights. Her boss, his name is Ellie Roth. She would, when she would leave this parking lot, stop and stare at me as well. I would have my dog right here, and I would think there's something really wrong with it. I ignored her repeatedly. So this one time, I take my little guy out, and I am in a hurry on this day. And there she is driving out of the parking lot, stops, and there she is staring at me. And I say to this Nancy Dooley, works at this business, what the fuck are you looking at? Fuck you. And Nancy Dooley drives away. What crime did I commit? I didn't commit a crime. But more importantly, what's the Monroe County Sheriff's Office doing deciding to come to my residence? Because less than an hour later, there's that pounding on the door. I let them in. I walk to the center of my living room. I think this is Richard J. Seaton. It could be somebody else. I don't know who it is. But Seaton is my height. And this guy, this psychopath, steps right in front of me as I turn around in my living room. His face is right as close to me here, and he screams at me, what did you say to the woman in the car? And I replied to this psychopath Monroe County Sheriff's Office employee, standing in my living room in Penfield, New York, supervising my speech. What the fuck are you looking at? Fuck you. And this psychopath that works at Todd Bagger replies, don't swear at me. He comes to my house, supervises my speech, demands my speech. I tell him what it is. And he's telling me not to swear in my own residence. This parking lot here, I never would have been on the radar screen for the concoction of crimes by these freaks at the sheriff's office if Dr. Corey Nichols, who was my dentist up here, 2033 Penfield, never moved to practice further down Penfield Road. When they Shah and Kumar Shah move in to that building, my life is forever going to be changed. That sets in motion being jailed 6 times. I'm coming back from Gold's Gym in Fairport. I'm right here. Nayraj Shah begins to scream at me. 50-year-old man lives with a 7-year-old mother. I turn around and say, what's the problem? And he is screaming at me inside his vehicle. I walk up to him. I still try to talk to him. He doesn't stop screaming. As I walk away, I give him the official finger of Brooklyn, New York. I tell him to fuck off. I walk away. And this leads to the arrest warrant by this cop, Fleet Shannon Meyer, who's paid $67,000. Todd Baxter gave him an $83,000 raise. I took every sentence in this lie. This is why people hate the police. Elizabeth Buckley, Mark Monaghan, Perry Duckles, Julie Sianka, public defender, assistant public defender, Mark Phillips, SUNY Fredonia. So, on the above dated approximately 1440 HR hours, I responded to the above location reported male trespassing. That's why people hate the police. It's not trespassing. 20 people a day walked through this parking lot, including, like I said, my neighbors, Penfield High School students. There were fireworks in Harris Whalen Park, I think it was 3 years ago. Before and after the fireworks, Penfield High School's in their band uniforms walked through this parking lot. More importantly, after the fireworks, 500 people walked through this parking lot. I will identify ludicrous and lunatic fringe before I say it. This is ludicrous and lunatic fringe. If it's a crime to walk through the parking lot, because there's the arrest warrant from me right here. That will show. All 500 of these people should have been arrested. Where's my 14th Amendment right to equal protection of laws? It's been assassinated by $83,000 cop freak Shannon Myers. This Todd Bass is a cop freak. He doesn't fire her. So this is it right here, where I took everything here. Upon my arrival, I spoke with V-Shot. Again, the mind-blowing, ridiculous insanity of this freak. V-Shot, he's a victim. He's a victim because I walked through his parking lot. Who stated that H.I. Chester was on his property again today, even though he's been informed that not allowed to be there. Again, why people have the police. This is not property. This is concrete. This is pavement. Property, I was a homeowner. I lived in the Albany suburb of Guilderland. It's proven by documents. Concrete pavement is not property. Informed he's not allowed to be here. Again, another lie. Nobody informed me about anything, because then you should be informing the 20 people a day that walk through here. Ridiculous lunatic fringe. Why people hate the police. And then right here she says, at the end, warn advised. So warn advised. This is the language here that has me writing the criminal complaint where he will not be arrested. Shaw signed an information. What the hell is an information? Stating he wants H.I. Chester arrested for being on his property again today. Shaw signed an information. Nayraj Shah, where wrote the criminal complaint about, thinks it's a crime to walk through his parking lot when he sees people walk through his parking lot all day long. Shaw signed an information. What's an information? Is it a criminal complaint? Perry Duckles, Mark Monaghan, Elizabeth Buckley? An information. I want to see this information, which I think this may be it, if I'm incorrect. This here lands me in Monroe County Jail, where a prosecutor talk at court. And is that Julie Hahn or not? Who's my prosecutor before John P. Lomenzo Jr.? Perry Duckles, Mark Monaghan, Elizabeth Buckley, Michelle Crowley. Christopher.Chichester@mail.com. That's an email you can reach me at. See Chichester, JUR4, it's on the foil. Call me and tell me. 813-648-4441. 620 Park Avenue, PMB number 361, Rochester, Inc. 14604. Tell me the names of all my prosecutors, especially the prosecutor before John P. Lomenzo Jr., because that prosecutor set in motion everything. She should have dismissed these charges. If the prosecutor can't make a verbal argument in court for criminal attempt second, then it should be dismissed. How am I charged with harassment second? I go to a gym called PW Fitness. Jermaine Benman walks up to me. He stands over me, punches down my head, snaps back violently. $82,000 injury reality arrives. We go out to the vehicle. I'm sitting in the back seat of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office vehicle, Van's reality. And who the fuck did I just harass? Perry Duckles, Mark Monaghan, Elizabeth Buckley, Michelle Crowley. The answer is no one. This is the concoction of a crime to me. Again, why people hate the police. Van's reality tells Jermaine Benman the 7 words to say to me. I want to press charges against you, and that's how I'm charged with harassment second. It's impossible to make an argument before John P. Lomenzo Jr. in Penfield Town Court that I committed a crime of criminal attempt second, that I committed a crime of harassment second. That's why the prosecutor, I believe is Julie Hahn, is silent. And you know who the name is, and tell me the name. The reason why I'm demanding that name is the Appellate Division of State Supreme Court is when an attorney is disbarred. That's why. I will eventually acquire the names of these freaks and sociopaths. That's why this is called names, right here. Names. Who is it? This is on August 28th, the mind-blowing, insane, and corruption of Sandra Dooley, which arrived in her office. Sent this to you over and over and over. There's the camera right here. That's it right there. I was on there repeatedly. So, December 22nd. December 22nd, the same 3-4's documentation for the case for Christopher Chester, John P. Lomenzo Jr. Penfield Town. What is the name of the prosecutor? Sandra Dooley. December 22nd. You refuse. That's why she's corrupt. Documentation for the case for Christopher Chester, Paul C. Mention Penfield Town Court. What is the name of the prosecutor? Sandra Dooley. December 22nd. That's why she's corrupt. Freedom of Information Law. Documentation for the case for Christopher Chester, New York State Supreme Court. Alex R. Lindsay. What is the name of the prosecutor? Sandra Dooley. That's why she's corrupt. December 22nd. Right there. She looked right at this. Refused. That's why she's corrupt. You will never know why she's corrupt. So, I'd like to introduce the ham sandwich from Queens, New York that preceded me in birth. This is Donald Trump ham sandwich, born in Queens, New York. I'm ham sandwich, Chris Chichester, born in Queens, New York. the frightening power of a district attorney's office when the president of the United States can be indicted by a psychopath prosecutor. So, this is the destruction of my life. I go to Social Security today in Rochester. I'm not going to go into details about that, but I was there for multiple reasons. Social Security on East Main Street is because you freaks at the district attorney's office and sheriff's office. That's why I was at Social Security today. I don't have any clothes because Anthony Spano locked the doors and locked me out. I have to go to the Goodwill to buy clothes. There are about 10 in here. $2 shirts, $3 shirts, $4 shirts. It's old man. I have no clothes because this is old man. Richard J. Seaton violently attacking me at the Pembroke Public Library. I had $61.39 in my pocket there. The criminal complaints arrived in your office in July, and this is why your boss, District Attorney Sandra Doherty, is corrupt. You will never know why she's corrupt. 5 criminal complaints. I'm going to read the language for all these. Arrest these individuals, and you won't because you're corrupt. At the sheriff's office. I know the district attorney's office doesn't arrest anyone. They should be prosecuted too. Every single one of these freaks whose name I read should be in jail. They should have due process, which I've never had. And a prosecutor should talk to court, which I've never had. Every single one of these names I mentioned, jail's where this person belongs because this person's a criminal. Freedom of Information Law. That Richard J. Seaton, the Monaghan County Sheriff's Office, walked in the Pembroke Public Library in Pembroke, New York, ran into Christopher Chichester, slammed his arm at the head, Chichester causing him to fall backwards, hit his head on the ceramic top floor, too. Then Rashad Layla Kumar shot 2033 Pembroke Road, Pembroke, New York, 14526. False reporting an incident. Christopher Chichester, formerly 26 cents from drivers walked through the park line next to his residence. 3. Antonio Spano, Fairport, New York, locked the front and back door of the residence, 26 cents from driving Pembroke, New York, without a court order. 4. Laura Rod, Webster, New York, transported the personal belongings of Christopher Chichester, 26 cents from driving Pembroke, New York, to storage locker, Webster, New York, without a court order. Then I tell you what's obvious. These are crimes. I go on from there. I'm talking to you again here. Perry Dogs and Mark Monaghan on here. So, those are the 4 there. On July 22nd. This is the language right here. When I went to Christopher Price, the Monroe branch. There's a criminal complaint right there for Richard J. Seaton. Arrest Richard J. Seaton because this is a crime and violently attacking me. That's why. I'm swearing he did this. Right here. July 21st. He got it on the 22nd. This is the criminal complaint right here. Arrest arrest because it's not a crime to walk through that parking lot. And it's false reporting an incident, something similar to it. So arrest Raj and Layla Kumar Shah. I'm telling you that this is a crime because I went to Christopher Price, the Monroe branch, the Rochester Public Library, on this July 21st here. There's my name right there. You could charge me with a crime if this is a false instrument. Am I correct about that? Elizabeth Buckley, you know, Albany Law School graduate. So, Antonio Spano, locking the doors and locking me out. This is a crime. The tenant defense project. I went down there and talked to the employees about this and told them everything that's happening to me. It's absolutely a crime in the state of New York, even for a tenant without a lease, which is me, to lock the doors and lock the tenant out without a court order. Antonio Spano, Fairport, locked the front and back doors of the resident 7 years, 26 cents where I'm driving Pembroke, New York, without a court order. I'm swearing that this old man did it. The fact that he's 80 years old, speaks in this ridiculous broken English. He's going to say, I don't know. He's going to be the captain of I don't know. And I don't know is going to rescue him from being arrested, prosecuted, in jail, even though this is a crime. Signing my name to it right there. July 21st, he got it on the 22nd. Laura Riley, my ex-girlfriend, used to be an angel, taking all my things to a storage locker. I had my dress screens from 17 Cavalry, 101st Airborne Division. And he went on my father's dresser he gave me for when he was a child in Brooklyn. I don't have my bed. I don't have my clothes. I don't have my running shoes. I don't have my running jerseys. I don't have my Army Commendation Medal. I don't have my Army Achievement Medal. I don't have my Air Assault badge. I don't have my BA from SUNY Stony Brook. I don't have anything but this old man and my ex-girlfriend smashing me into a million little pieces and taking everything out of my residence to a storage locker in Webster without a court order. So, I'm signing right here that they committed that crime there. I lived with her at 3 different residences. Criminal complaint from Michael C. Houlihan right here. Todd Baxter, look right at this. Todd Baxter loves perjurers. Todd Baxter loves criminals. Todd Baxter loves freaks. text, criminal complaint for perjury for 73312 Michael C. Horn in the Monaghan County Sheriff's Office. Quote, that's 73312 Michael C. Horn in the Monaghan County Sheriff's Office walked onto private property, crossing the residence 26 Ames from driving Penfield, New York, of Christopher Chichester. Houlihan ran at Chichester at approximately 1 a.m. with $85,000 Don Benedetto of the Sheriff's Office. At Chichester ran away from Houlihan and Benedetto, unaware of the identities. At Chichester grabbed the hammer alongside the residence next to his bike used to fix the bike's tire. That as Chichester placed his foot on the first of 3 steps of the back porch, Houlihan grabbed his arm, the hammer, and Chichester's hands forced upward. Chichester ran across the back porch through a sliding glass door, and as Chichester never stopped running, it is impossible to swing a hammer at 73312 Michael Houlihan. It is impossible to swing a hammer at this lying cop freak perjurer when my forward motion carries me to the screen door. And this is on the body camera footage that Assistant Public Defender Regina Harper played for me. And what are you freaks and sociopaths, Mark Monaghan, Perry Duckles, and Elizabeth Buckley, and Michelle Crowley failed to understand? So I sign my name to this for Michael Houlihan, involved in the death of a human being. Well, I said that he's a freak. Right here on this July 27th, it's the 5th one, 5 days after July 22nd. I'm telling you right here that he's a psychopath. That's what I'm telling you. Why do I have to call pretrial services? The lunatic fringe of what you think is justice in Monroe County? It's so if I don't make a phone call or personal appearance with Jamie Belliard on St. Paul Street, I could be returned to jail. I look at this, I have to really try to control my temper, which times I will fail at. Pretrial Services Corporation, ridiculous. I don't have a trial scheduled ever. So why do I have to call Jamie Belliard at Pretrial Services Corporation? And it has an answer, because Alex Renzi wants to put the screws to me by forcing me to meet with her and call her and contact her, because if I don't, he could send me back to Monroe County Jail. Do you understand the lunatic fringe in 1984 that this is Elizabeth Buckley, who's been at the district attorney's office since 2007, Albany Law School graduate? Have you ever been in the Capitol? Elizabeth Buckley? Do you know how many attorneys work in that building that would say, like my former colleague, counsel to the governor, James McGuire, if James is in front of me, who I work with over and over and over, and I said to him, I was in jail 6 times and 6 times a prosecuting talk to court. James McGuire, counsel to the governor of the state of New York, my former colleague, whose office was 50 feet away from mine. I'm confident James would say that's a sick lunatic fringe. So, and doesn't life matter? How you work and how you strive, doing the best you can? I'm past 50. Excuse me, when all this concoction of one crime after another started to happen to me, because my birthday is July 4, 1965. This is how your life matter. When you make a first appearance in court, your education, your charitable acts, your work experience, your military service. Does any of that matter? The answer is no. Because you're freaks and sociopaths, that's why. So, you, Elizabeth Buckley, can walk through this parking lot anytime you want. And if psychopath mother's boy Nayron Shah sees you, he's not going to go to the sheriff's office. It's only me. The reason why Nayron Shah is not dismissed, a reason, by Shannon Meyer, he's going to attack her as being a racist and the sheriff's office as being racist. That's why. I'm confident this freak who lives with his mother's been calling people racist falsely his whole miserable, sick life. So, yeah. What's not to understand, Perry Duckles? Because he on January 1. January 1, 2023. Perry Duckles, District Attorney, 47 South Hitcher, Rochester, New York. P. Metzler, Penfield, is Todd Thurston of the Sheriff's Office, who I copied again on here. You got this, Mark Phillips. Mark Phillips, you could have told me the names of my prosecutors on this January 1, 2023. I picked this date because I want to be able to say every day moving forward in the year 2023, I've been demanding disclosure of the names of my prosecutors, which I'm doing again today. January 1, 2023. Attached PDF is a 61-page freedom information law document dated December 20, 2022 that arrived in your office via UPS. This documentation also arrived December 22nd, 2022 and December 26th, 2022 via UPS, which tracked and have it. Print each, bring it to your corrupt boss, Secretary Sands door. It tells prevent the accumulation of health afflictions. Send the information the address listed below includes the names of my prosecutors' silence. What's not to understand? I've demanded the names of my prosecutors' silence for 18 months. I'll be in court again because your fellow psychopaths know it takes only one corrupt judge, such as Alex Renzi in the New York State Supreme Court, Paul Siemens from Little Pentown Court, to declare me guilty of criminal charge you concoct. A prosecutor's never talked in court for me. Yet I've been in jail 6 times. This fanaticism and hatred at your office, Jersey Detention, United States Department of Justice. You received the same FOIL documentation dated January 1, 2023, January 3, 2023, that compels you to disclose the names of our prosecutors within refuse and creative silence. YouTube 61. It's called 61 because there are 61 freedom of information law documents where I'm also demanding out-of-state travel. And if Todd Baxter and Sandra Doyle have minors on the payroll, especially minors related to their own employees, and they're refusing time and time again on this YouTube for Laura Riley again, we wrote the criminal complaint about. She's refused to tell me over and over and over what happened with this eviction by this old man. What you have done to me is destroy my relationships because despite the fact my relationship with her ended, I have known her for 35 years. And we live at 3 different places together, and you know things about each other over that length of time. There's always that type of connection. And she is now completely and totally alien to me. And that's because of you. I told her on email that it takes a court order to move my things to a storage locker in Webster. I'm asking her at first, tell me what happened with this old man, Antonino Spano. Just tell me, Laura, what happened. Which that email to her has arrived in the district attorney's office, sheriff's office over and over and over, and then it's going to be attached again in this email to you. It's a crime in the state of New York to lock the doors on a tenant without a court order. Antonino Spano committed that crime. It's a crime in the state of New York to move the personal possessions of a tenant out of the residence, and Laura Riley, Webster, New York, committed that crime. What you fail to understand, you freaks and sociopaths, the sheriff's office and district attorney's office. And you do fail to understand because you live in a psychopath 1984. Psychopath 1984 puts me on the radar screen right here. This is it right here. Psychopath 1984, cop breach Shannon Meyer, writing a warrant for my arrest. Am I New York's 4,000 time criminal? Because that's how many times I've walked through this parking lot. I have to be New York's 4,000 time criminal. Because there's a warrant for my arrest for walking through it. I'm New York's 4,000 time criminal because I've walked through this parking lot 4,000 times. Elizabeth Buckley, Perry Duckles, Mark Monaghan, Sue Fronia, Mark Phillips, Julie Siak, only dog. They came to my residence to man my little guy. 2 Monroe County Sheriff Office boys. Nayraj and Layla Kumar Shah. I'm going to the sheriff's office demanding I be arrested for walking through a parking lot I've walked through 4,000 times, not anybody else. I'm walking my little guy behind that residence I just showed you. The back window flies off from this repulsive shack, 2030 from Penfield Road. You can see by driving by it. Nayraj or Layla Kumar Shah called the sheriff's office to come and seize my dog. Really, these two are evil. There's no other word for it. I'm not trying to engage in any hyperbole exaggeration. Going to the sheriff's office, by a parking lot I've walked through 4,000 times, calling the sheriff's office to confiscate my dog. Paul C. Metz was writing these ridiculous orders of protection. I'm not going to dwell on this because this really delivers me to a level of anger that was past the anger I already have right here. I get out of Livingston County Jail, and as she is with these orders of protection, she wants to humiliate me. I'm in handcuffs. I had to sign them. I'm at the YMCA. I'm on the wrong machine. And at this large YMCA in Penfield, I can see a speed bag in front of me. And I taught myself to hit the speed bags. I'm in a boxing fancy elementary school, and this part of my day I enjoy so much because I go to the wrong machine and I look at the speed bag. I think about all my favorite fighters. My favorite fighter like Sugar Ray Leonard. I think about all the great fights in history, especially his epic fight against Marvin Hagler when I saw him when I was in the Army. I'm trying to enjoy my day. There I'm on the wrong machine, looking at the speed bag, and next to the speed bag is Layla Kumar Shah with this Paul C. Metzer writing an order of protection, even though I had never met her until that moment, just like Nayraj Shah. So I'm on the wrong machine, and she comes walking toward me. And I'm thinking, my exact line was, just please walk right by me, out the door behind me. So here comes this Layla Kumar Shah walking toward me. I'm on the wrong machine. and she stops in front of me on the rowing machine, and she's staring at me on the rowing machine. This is something radically wrong with her. So I say to her, "What's my name?" You know my name. And this frightens and startles her. And she goes over to a YMCA employee, points at me, and says, "This is because you, Paul Seametz, are doing this to me. He doesn't belong at the YMCA." This is the type of freak that Freak Shannon Meyer of the Sheriff's Office has unleashed upon me. Perry Duckles, Mark Monaghan, Elizabeth Buckley, Michelle Crowley, Julie Sianka, and Mark Phillips. Because the Monroe County Sheriff's Office is a collection of freaks. And Shannon Meyer, this $83,000 disgusting, sick human being, is responsible for this Layla Kumar Shah being right in front of me and then going up to the YMCA employee and saying he doesn't belong to YMCA. So I thought, this is not going to be good for me. I go home, my residence in Penfield. The next day I walk into the YMCA, and the YMCA employee immediately says to me, "Mike wants to talk to you." So I go up to the second floor of this YMCA. I love to go there so much. They have this pool there and I swim in. And I was preparing for him to terminate my membership because this happened to me in other gyms. So I sit down with Michael Avery, and he says, "Tell me what happened." And I was relieved immediately because he's not terminating my membership. And I sat there with him, I think it was for 45 minutes. It could have been an hour. It's a single period of time. My exact language: freaks and sociopaths at the Sheriff's Office and District Attorney's Office, to Michael Avery at the YMCA is, "You, Michael, can walk through this parking lot without being arrested in Penfield, but I will." So, how many times I've used the Freedom of Information Law upon you? It's right here over and over. It arrives, Sandra Doyle looks at it, is refusing every single time to tell me the names of my prosecutors of silence. This document here, this could be, I think this is 75 pages. This is here, September 12th. I'll just open it up to one where I'm telling you to disclose the names of my prosecutors. On this August 4th here, with the foil attached, August 4th, Todd Backs, you're right here. You, Perry Duckles, Mark Monaghan, Elizabeth Buckley, Michelle Crowley, Julie Sianka, Mark Phillips. I only use this email once so I can't be blocked. I'll write here where I say to you, comply with the attached Freedom of Information Law document dated August 4th, 2023. Mail the names of my prosecutor sons, the address in Park Avenue. I prosecutor sons were Penfield Court Judge John P. Metzer Jr., Penfield Court Judge Paul C. Metzer, New York State Supreme Court Judge Alex Renzi. 4 criminal complaints notarized by Christopher M. Price, the Rochester Public Library, in July 2123, and attached in PDF. 1 criminal complaint notarized by Christopher M. Price, Rochester Public Library, on July 27, 2023. It's attached in PDF. You will not arrest, prosecute, jail these criminals that include Monroe County Sheriff Office employees, but you psychopaths will concoct crimes for me. It's impossible for a prosecutor to make an argument in court that I committed a crime. I'm convicted on paper and delivered to jail 6 times by one corrupt judge. That's insane. Insane. You're insane. At the Sheriff's Office, District Attorney's Office, concocting crimes for me with free cops and then prosecuting me in total silence, where it's impossible for the Assistant District Attorney assigned to my court appearances to make an argument in open court that I committed a crime. My name is Christopher Chichester. I live in Rochester, New York. I've been an innocent man my whole life.